Warning, this book will make you cry because it's not an easy read. Let's talk about this book. It's a sci-fi masterwork that was awarded with a Hugo Award for its original short story version and got a Nebula for the novel version. It also spawned an Oscar-winning film called Charlie. It's The Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keye. And it's a very interesting read. It bears the SF Masterwork title and it's worth it. The book is about Charlie Gordon. He is a man with an IQ of 68, which means since this book was published in 1966, he is mentally underdeveloped, or as the book makes a point to use some offensive terms for our era, like the R or the M word. Yeah, that's a bit of a warning, the language is a bit antiquated. He is the butt of every joke. He is working in a bakery store, he is sweeping the floor, and he's barely functioning, but he's selected by a group of scientists to undergo an experiment that will make him smart. It already worked for mouse, Algernon, and they want to try it in a human, and they do. They try it for Charlie. The novel is written as the notes that Charlie makes as part of his experiment. So we have a narration of it and a point of view to Charlie, and Charlie is very likable. He is a character who is innocent, who can barely write words, but he has a good heart. He wants to learn to read, he wants to be smart, he wants to belong, because he feels lonely, as but with joke, as mentally slow person. And he undergoes the experiment, and something interesting happens in the writing, because as he starts to rise into IQ, as his IQ is growing, we see that his writing is changing along with it. So we get a great representation of his rising intelligence, and soon he becomes very smart. But as this happens, Algernon, the mouse that has undergone the same experiment, is misbehaving, is behaving erratically. His intelligence is being challenged, and as the back of the book says, Algernon fades and dies. But this happens 3/4 of the book, so thank you. Synopsis of the book. And Charlie has to face the possibility that the same may happen to him. Early on, when Charlie undergoes the experiment, a nurse tells him that what they did is a sin, and what the scientists did is disobeyed the word of God. They interfered with nature, and that's a sin. And Charlie sort of bit from the tree of knowledge. This biblical theme goes throughout the book, because as Charlie grows intelligent, he starts to realize how unhappy he was, how he was abused because of his situation, how the childhood trauma he has experienced as a mental challenged person is still haunting him. And now that he gained some cognitive function, he starts to realize what happened to him. And as he grows smarter and smarter, it's hard to empathize with other people. He lacks the knowledge. Even though he has the intelligence, he doesn't have the knowledge to live in the world. And the smarter he becomes, the more alone he becomes, and more unhappy he becomes. And as we get towards the climax of the book, and we start to see him realizing that maybe that's the end for him. Maybe he will turn to Charlie back again He grows erratic, just like Algernon, and that's a heartbreaking read because we love Charlie, the slow Charlie, and the smart Charlie. He's not a likable character. He's egotistical, he's mean, he is aloof, cold, and in his own mind, those two Charlies, the smart Charlie and the dumb Charlie, are two different personalities that they're clashing together. And they clash together very violently in some cases, like when it comes to emotions or interacting with the other sex. Towards the end, it's a grueling read. I have to tell you that it's not a big, it's not a long book. It's 216 pages long, so yeah, it's not hard to get through it. I think that the first part and the third part are great. They're clearly award-winning material. I thought the middle of the book was kind of, I won't say all over the place, but I think it was parts that were added, where the long short story of it omitted or went through very fast, and in a way they feel like padding is not as good as the other two parts, but it's a powerful read. Once you go through the middle part, and believe me, even though I thought that the middle part was weak, building towards what we get, and yeah, it may be that I disliked the smart Charlie, but I think that was the point. And as I was going towards the end, I was really scared for Charlies and what happens for them, because in the case of Algernon, it didn't go well, and as Charlie is heading there, he is actually reconciling with parts of him, with his life, and making amends, making bonds. There is a catharsis throughout the last 50 pages of the book. There is both a tragedy and a catharsis at the same time, which was what makes this book so powerful. The way he reconciles with some misconceptions or false memories or forgotten memories of his past is what drives the plot, especially towards the end, and that's really moving. And when I say that this is a book that will break your heart, I mean it. So definitely worth a read. Masterwork, to say the least, and food for thought. Not only does this book hit you in the feels, it makes you think about what intelligence is and what does it mean. Is intelligence happiness or is ignorance bliss? It never makes a full answer, but you can think about it reading it. Who is the happy Charlie? The slow one or the smart one? I don't think that either Charlie is actually happy, because they both are different. I think this book is a testament to being different and not belonging, and that's the ongoing struggle, and trying to fix it by going from one extreme to the other. Well, it's not the same, but it's different, but it doesn't change much. And maybe, being plain is all you need. Maybe, all the experiment should do is make people slightly smarter, I guess. I don't know, really. There are a lot of things to unpack in this book, and talking about this is not worth it. You have to experience this. So definitely recommend, one of the best books ever this year, and a very powerful, emotional, gripping read. If you've read it, leave a comment with your opinion below. And yes, I'll see you soon. Hopefully with a more lighthearted book. Thank you for watching.